You could go look through your files and find it yourself if you're feeling like you want to be chasing things down, but not necessary in many cases. Toast notification system, import path is incorrect in the file. So we're just going to say, please update that import and change, nothing else. So the first thing that it said was, we don't have it. Then we had it look again. If it says it doesn't have it look again. Double check. Let's restart the app. npm run devs. See how we are doing over here. And we've got our additional errors. This is very common when you make a bunch of changes to a page. You're going to have stuff that isn't fully connected. Right here, it's saying that it's not able to load our publishable key. We want to check our env. Stripe publishable key is there, and this matches to what's in our environment file. So we are going to start a new chat. Do not make changes. We have this error when loading the app. The key is in the .env file. Did you forget to include .env in the imports? This is a package that generally pulls in all of your environment variables into different parts of the app, and it often forgets to actually import those. It's a common thing when you're adding stuff to this environment file. It forgets to import it. We'll let that run for a second here. Just for fun. Where is it? Over here? Yeah. Let's do a new chat with agent here and talk with it about adding a webhook. Since I already finished the payment integration over here, we'll see how far that gets before our time is up on today's call. Pop over to this and say, do not make changes. Look at how payment processing is completed and tell me if there is a good place to add a webhook. The customer payment and recipe details can be sent as a JSON object to a webhook. Do not make changes. Let's see what we get over here. Payment integration, depending on the application and what you're trying to do. Sometimes you can get it done in 30, 45 minutes. Almost every time I see it take an hour because you are changing how stuff functions, and it changes pieces of the app and you have to fix lots of stuff that it changed and forgot about. The fastest I've ever done it, I think, is 35 minutes on a payment integration, and then one shot it. But that's very rare. Most of the time, an hour or two. All right, let's see what we have here. Payment intent creation, it runs this. Okay, redirects to the unlocked show last results. It's going to create payment intent route. It has the details from Stripe. Could send a JSON object like this. Recipe info. Let's just see if it can do it. This integration additively. This should not affect any functions of the app, only add this feature. I will provide a webhook, so just put in a placeholder for now. Do not make other changes. There you go. See where we are here. This is running. Vite reloaded. Let's take a look. And now we have our page. So this is the local one. Make sure our generation functions We'll see if our payment integration is fully connected. And here it did not include the key. This is partially fixed. Now we ran a generation and it showed this error overlaid over the recipes. It did make the recipes and it changed our layout a little bit here, but not too bad. Then we have our unlock full recipes. And this is where it's missing that publishable key in our process. Take a look over here. Added webhook. Cool. This is the data that's sent to the webhook. Something about this one right here, it's sending the customer email with no name, and that matches what we see over here. When we generate in this application, when we go to pay, it only asks for the card information. It's going to link that back to their payment and pull in the email. I would probably go through and update the Stripe integration to collect more than what it's collecting here, and actually include some customer information so that we can have their name and maybe the address and things like that sent to us. Little better information there that we could collect. Let us see if our local one is restarted. Get this one wrapped up shortly. So we didn't get that error here. Let's unlock our recipe. And this is fun because it just put it right in line for us. Using that test card, could save it with link. And there's our recipe. We now have the functionality created and running just under an hour, which is about how payment gateways tend to go. The next piece would be to do something like this, where we add the webhook for tracking all that. And we will put that on the to-do list for our next adventure and show how to put that into HighLevel or any other tool that might have a webhook. You can do the same thing with Zapier or N8N or anything that can catch a webhook. HighLevel is just my favorite because it has all the other CRM functionality in there to help things out. There we have it. Payment integration set up and done on an app that had no ability to collect revenue, and now it does. Any thoughts, questions, anything I glossed over that might be important?
Other than resetting a chat, if you're not in Replit or Windsurf, how do you reset a chat in Lovable?
You don't.
Don't. I didn't think so.
Yeah, that is one of the unfortunate things in Lovable and Bolt is you don't really reset a chat. I have had success with just refreshing the page. This is how I tested that. I refreshed the page and then I asked it what we had just been doing and list out the last 5 or 6 things we were doing. It will forget a few of them, which to me says it's truncated our conversation and is not pulling it all in. That would be the only thing I know to shorten that chat up. But I do love Lovable for its UI. It's one of my favorites. It's really, really easy to create the UI in Lovable and then pull that down with GitHub and have your amazing UI and then do all this backend stuff with anything else that has GitHub integration. If I want a nice UI, especially things that are interactive, like flashcards or games or things like that, Lovable and Bolt do such a good job with that user interface. Then I'll just pull that down and do all the backend pieces on something else.
A couple of days ago, I had a website I wanted to build, and I just wanted to see how it might look using a few different platforms. So I tried Firebase Studio, Lovable, and Manus, just to see how it would look and not take it any further than that. Manus was by far the best in terms of the look.
Nice. Okay. I haven't done a website recently with Manus. I think the last thing I did in Manus was 2 or 3 months ago. I played with it then and I haven't gone deep into it. I'm going to have to start testing the UI capabilities in Manus. Did you stop at that point or did you export further?
I stopped just to show the guys that I'm doing the project with, just so they could choose which one they preferred. And they both preferred Manus. I'm not sure if I'm going to proceed with Manus. I might do what you just said, pull it into GitHub and then continue in Replit. I'm not sure. I'm still thinking.
Yeah, I would. That's just because I like to have access to all of the pieces, not limited pieces, or not be limited by what might be restricted access. I think I've talked about in the past, Replit has restricted access to your package files and things like that. I've also run into recently a lot of code stacks are now restricted. For example, if you want to build a Next.js app, Replit will refuse to. It says it's now restricted. And I have an old app that I built with Next.js in Replit, but as of last week, it would not do Next.js anymore. So things like that, they get restrictions built in. And if you pull the app down, you can add in features and stuff that you're not going to run into restrictions. All right. This has been fun, at least on this end. Hope you all enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing everybody on next week's call, and we will continue digging in and learning new stuff and testing new tools. See y'all later. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and follow. And if you need help building or finishing your app, click the link in my bio to book a one-on-one Zoom call to take a look at your project.